Hi everybody, my name is Peyton, and recently at the Miami Valley School in my APUSH history class, we received an assignment regarding any concepts we found interesting or any ideas that we found interesting or most striking in our reading, which was the American Pageant, 16th edition. And through this project itself, what I found most difficult was simply finding a topic. And while thinking about my topic for hours, leading up to even days, that through my prior courses of world history and US history, that I have been worrying way too much about just the facts, and I've been worrying about just highlighting what is already in bold. And when it comes to being in class, if they ask what led up to this, or what were the effects, or how is it significant today, I wasn't able to provide an answer because I wasn't worrying about what was important about. With this being said, ultimately, before picking up the American pageant, I never understood the true meaning of history. I always thought history was, well, the purpose of history was to make sure those things didn't happen again. But how am I supposed to do that without knowing what led up to it, and what were the effects of it, and how has it changed the world today? With this being said, I looked up the definition on Google of why do we study history? And it said, history helps us understand change and how the society we live in came to be. The second reason history isn't inescapable as a subject of serious study follows closely to the first. The past causes the present, and so the future. To put this in my own words, many people think that history is all about facts, that Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, and that Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president, but this is the farthest from the truth. With this being said, I can't critique anybody on having this definition of history themselves, because I used to be this way as well. But through reading the American Pageant and through class discussion, I have realized that history is most definitely about historical change, cause, and effect. To give you a historical example, let's talk about the American Revolution and its causes and effects. For example, there was the French and Indian War, the Townshend Acts, the Sugar Acts, and plenty of other things that struck up controversy between the motherland and the colonists. Once the American Revolution ended, it's easy to view it as if a chapter just ended and a new one is beginning, but that's not the case. History, if you really think about it, is all related. It's almost like a domino effect. Everything has a cause and effect towards another part of history. For example, when the American Revolution was ultimately won, the Declaration of Independence was written, and the Treaty of Paris was ratified, and the entire process of the American Revolution is we're aware of it today, but I think we often neglect what happened, how did it happen, and how does it affect us. Throughout all my years being a student, I have always viewed history as something I need to get around, something I need to avoid or just be done with as quick as possible. And I did this by reading about it, writing about it, studying and memorizing it, getting evaluated on it. And after that, honestly, I just neglected it. I'd forget about it. It'd be out of my mind forever. And with my new concept in mind regarding a certain item of history and what caused that and what were the effects of it and what happened during it, it has brought up the question of why are these terms, why are these people, places, times, events, dates so important that I need to be reading about it in my history book and that kids need to be reading about it in history books all across the nation, all across the world. And it's because these events have ultimately resulted in how the world is today and how people are today because of history. In a nutshell, history does revolve around people, places, times, events, but there's something more to that. People need to grasp the concept of what happened during it, what happened before and after it, and how does it relate to what America is today and what the world is today because of that event.